And we are live. Hey,
Hey,
welcome to the podcast.
what's up?
Hey, Corey.
Glad to be here.
Um, yeah, so welcome to our podcast. We are learning how to do podcasts. We're learning how to do more branding and marketing. So this is part of the strategy with Pace Morby's Gator and Sub 2 methodologies. So we are learning this, and this is part of our homework. So Corey and I work together on the Gator side, on the lending side. And so Corey agreed to come on here with us and let me ask him a few little questions, have a little conversation, and introduce you guys to lending, creative lending. So, Corey, share
Yes,
your
sir.
name, man. Who are you? Where are you from?
Hey, so I'm Corey Saxe. You want the whole rundown? I'm an airline pilot by profession, and I've been doing Gator for a couple months now. Met Les, and we're trying to do some deals together. So let's see. That's all you asked me, right? Yep, that's all you asked me.
So far.
Yeah.
You want to share your rough location or you want to keep that
Oh
separate?
yeah,
Either way.
that's a top secret. No,
I'm
I'm in the Houston area, north of Houston in Montgomery, Texas.
perfect. And I'm going to be down that way, it looks like, on Sunday. I got to walk through that townhouse I'm buying.
All
So,
right.
yeah, I got an appointment Sunday afternoon. Awesome. Well, cool. Maybe we can, connect while I'm down there as well. So,
I'm going to be in the Smoky Mountains.
oh, that's right. You're on vacation. Good for you, man. Good
I
for
know.
you. That's
I
that's
know.
awesome. That's awesome. Been there once, twice. I don't know. It was good.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been there actually. In a, it's going
Where?
to be a nice cabin.
Which area?
I've never been to this place. It's a friend of mine's cabin. He's like, yeah, go use the cabin. So it's like 2 hours north of Atlanta area.
Okay, so you're gonna be around Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg,
No, it's still actually in
south of that.
Georgia.
Okay,
So yeah, but I think just south of that area.
not Tennessee. Okay, fair enough. There's a lot of mountains through there, so cool.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome. All right. So you mentioned your name and your primary occupation and where you're from. Um, so next question down the list. So what caused you to look into creative financing opportunities?
So, well, inflation caused a lot of things. So, I have a pretty good career, make pretty good money. And the last couple of years, I just noticed that my style, my lifestyle, has changed. Suddenly I'm like, oh man, I gotta watch what I'm spending, and it just became very apparent to me that the the world changes, and if you're not over prepared for what inflation can do to your savings, to your income, to what you're planning for retirement, um, then all that's got to change. You're going to have to adjust down. So I want to create enough wealth for me and my family so that when it comes time to retire or not retire, we can do whatever we want. You know what I mean? If we have well more than we can spend, then we'll be in a much better position. Rather than, like, I watched my parents. They worked their whole lives. They saved up what they thought was a pretty good amount, and their retirement was not exactly as they imagined it, because inflation eats away at your savings. So if your target is, oh, I need to have $1 million and I can retire comfortably, or whatever that number is, I think your target needs to be like 10 times that, so that, you know, 2 cycles of inflation don't eat that away, and that lowers your standard. So,
Fair enough. I like that. Like that
yeah.
approach. And that's pretty good coming from a guy that's got a grand piano and all that good stuff. It's nice.
Right. Yeah, exactly. The fake background. Got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we'll just pretend mine's not fake, but this guy keeps following me. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's where it's my mind,
Hilarious, man.
my friend. That's where it's my happy place. Cool. So, kind of tell us some of your goals with this. As a side hustle, like 1 year, 5 year goals. What
So I made a really lofty 1 year goal.
or,
So if I hit half of that, that's good. That's something I picked up from Uncle Grant. You know Uncle Grant, don't you?
I've heard of Uncle Grant.
Yes. Okay. Uncle G, actually, he likes to be called.
Fair
But
enough.
anyway, I set a $10,000 cash flow average per month for a year from now. That's what I would like to have.
Cool. 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 Awesome. All right. Anything else you want to share on that side?
I would like to pick up some of that cash flow. Obviously, I'm doing Gator, so some of that's going to be from Gator, but I would like to actually own some long-term rentals and maybe some short-term rentals to
Gotcha.
fill in some of that.
So let's take a step back. So some people may be new to this. What is Gator?
So Gator is really just Pace Morby's name for transactional lending. And he basically created a program where people can sign up and learn how to do. Everybody just came home. How to do transactional lending, how to find deals, how to fund deals with other people's money, and sorry, I got a big distraction walking in the door.
It's okay.
We're live on YouTube, by the way, guys.
Come in, say hi.
Hey.
Howdy.
So
Welcome
yeah,
to
so
the
he
podcast.
basically lays it down. There's a whole bunch of different ways. There's double closings. There's funding EMD. There's a lot of ways to make money in real estate without actually owning real estate.
Fair enough. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, just trying to get the audience up to speed if they're not familiar with it. So you've been in 2 months, roughly. What have you learned so far?
Man, so I learned, I'm kind of an, can I cuss on this? I'm kind of an asshole, right? So like, if you ask Pace, like what you should do, how you should start out, he says that spend your first 90 days doing one thing and learn one thing. And I've got like it's a squirrel syndrome. So I've got involved in doing the elephant challenge and trying to do sub 2 deals, agent outreach. I'm all over the place. So really, if I would have probably just put my head to the grindstone and just concentrated only on Gator, I would have been a little bit farther down the road. But I get distracted by all these other interesting topics.
Well, you're going on vacation, so you can stop, reflect, see
Right.
how it's working for you, and decide how you want to approach it when you get back, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that approach still works for you, so it's all good. I'm
Sure.
I'm squirrely myself, so I totally
But the biggest thing that I learned is that your network is your net worth, right? So if there's one thing that I could probably do better, is I could reach out and meet more people and make more connections.
Fair enough. All right, so that'll give you some doing vacation then, is figure out what's your plan of attack to make that happen, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Awesome. Or do you have a plan of attack already? Maybe I should ask that.
I don't. That's how I operate. No plan, just go for it.
Here we are. We're doing this live, first time out, so it's all good, man. All good. All right. So, what can you recommend to our listeners based off of your experience so far?
What can I recommend? Well, like I said, pick a thing. If it's going to be Gator, if it's going to be sub 2, whatever it is, just stick to that one thing for 90 days and learn everything that you can about it. And then also during that 90 days, just make as many connections and friends in that area that you can, so that you're going to have as much help as you need, right? Because you're going to run into stuff that you've never encountered before. And if you have somebody that's already been through it, they can help you through it.
Awesome. Yep. True that. All right. So speaking of that, we have a Project Forward chat, right? You're part of it.
Yep.
Would you recommend that to folks as well if they're listening?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You started that group, didn't you?
I did actually with 4.
Yeah.
Like 200 plus now, but
I know it's out of control. That's one of the things. Like, it's a huge distraction, right? I'm in that group and all these other groups. I have to, I'm still getting the messages, but I have to silence them because I'm just like all day long and all night long I'm getting messaged with stuff. So you have to be able to meter that. But yeah, there's so many people in there that are willing to help and information coming in 24/7.
Amen to that. Yep.
Yeah.
So come join us, and anybody can be invited to that as well, as long as they're part of Sub 2 or the Gator tribe. Come on. So happy to have you. Awesome. All right, cool. So let's talk about your top 4 books that have shaped your life. I'm going to do this kind of bigger pockets format because they do that with every podcast, so I like that because I learn a lot.
All right.
I've read a lot
Well,
of books.
have
So,
shaped my life. I don't
yours.
know, but I did write them down because I knew I was going to forget them. But because I knew you were going to ask me this. But Rich Dad Poor Dad, of course.
Amen.
Everybody got to read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Think and Grow Rich. Well, that was by, what was that guy's name? Kiyosaki, right? Or yeah.
Rich Dad Poor Dad with Kiyosaki. Thinking Grow Rich was Napoleon, right?
And Think and Grow Rich is Napoleon Hill. I just recently read that one, and that one was amazing. What was the other one? Profit First. I've had a couple of businesses in my life, and man, I wish I had had Profit First, because I think that is a very easy way for somebody that's running a business to just easily look at their bank accounts. It basically sets you up with I think it's 5 different accounts that you funnel your money to, so you can see how much money you have for operating expenses, how much money you have in profit, how much money you have saved for taxes, etc. So that's kind of a game changer. And the fourth one, I'm going to say it's aviation related, because I read it a long time ago and it was a great book, and it was called Fate is the Hunter. And I cannot remember the author's name right now offhand. I should have looked that up before this, but that is a really good book. It's about flying back in the day, like when they had to go up the East Coast and over Iceland and Greenland or whatever to get across to Europe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sorry. Along those lines, I've started watching another one. I think I watched the whole series, but the whole airplane disaster things. So I was thinking of you.
Oh yeah. My
wife
loves those shows.
I was watching the one where they ran out of gas because they forgot to convert between kilograms and
oh, I thought you were
pounds from Canadian Air.
I thought you were going to say the one that was where they glide into the Azores. Did you ever see that one?
That's probably
the
one.
They ran out of gas though because there was a fuel leak, and so the first officer was a new guy, and the captain was like some legendary, training pilot, blah blah blah. Nice. And he kept dismissing the FOs, the first officer's concerns about, like, hey, this fuel's not adding up right or whatever. And by the time that he really got clued in, they didn't have enough, and they had transferred all the fuel to the low side that it was leaking out of. Wow. And then they ran out, and then he managed to glide it in and land in the Azores Islands out there in the middle of the Pacific, in the middle of nowhere, and saved everybody. But that reason they was there because he didn't pay attention to what he should have paid attention to. So
fair enough. Yeah, this one was one Air Canada when they just changed to a new plane, and they went from pounds to kilograms and doing the conversion right, and 42,000 feet they ran out. So it's I always liked them because it showed you, here's what we learned from this and how we'll never do this again. As a traveler.
Yep.
This is cool because this should never happen again because of this.
Yeah. Once a year when I go to do my requalification training, we usually have 2 or 3 things that we study, and we try to get more recent stuff. But over the years, I've gone through all those NTSB reports and and things. So it's interesting.
Well, thanks for keeping us safe up there, man.
Sure, man.
All right. So Corey, what is your buy box? What are you lending on these days, or what are you buying in sub 2?
Well, I'd like to buy long-term and short-term rentals. I want to buy creative, so I can put the minimum amount of money in, like 10% of actual value is like where I'd like to stay, and somewhere under 50,000 entry fee.
Okay.
And I really like to stick to the Houston and surrounding areas. 1, because it's a good market, and 2, because I live here, so that when I start getting properties under my belt, that me and my wife can manage them ourselves, at least at first.
Perfect.
So that's basically what I'm looking for.
Okay. Cool.
And as far as gator lending, pretty much, I don't want to say unlimited funds, but there's something called gator wrestling, right? So all of us gators, we're a tribe, right? So we can pool our money together and we can get deals done. So whatever you got for transactional lending, double closes, we can fund it. So
Awesome.
give us a look up.
Perfect. All right. So that brings us to the final question here is how can our listeners reach out to you?
So it's very simple. It's my name, Corey Saxe, COREYSAXE @gmail.com. And my phone number is 281-642-6077. You can call or text.
Awesome. Cool. Well, we appreciate you coming on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. It was awesome.
I hope you'll come on my podcast sometime.
That's the plan, my friend. Awesome. All right, cool. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for catching up with us, and reach out to Corey. You got my Instagram handle right there on screen as well. So if you need something, holler. And if you want to, you can scan the.
Dang, I got an Instagram handle too.
Come on, what's your handle, man?
I don't remember what it is.
One, two. What's your handle?
Hold on, I think it's. It should be just Corey Saxe, but it probably isn't.
I don't think so. It's like C Saxe.
Oh, is it that? Let's see.
I think so. That's what it is on my
I don't
Instagram.
even know. Share profile.
We're friends, so if you find me, look.
It's at SAXN8R at Saxonator.
Saxonator. See, I knew it was something like that.
That's it.
Awesome.
All right.
Cool.
See you in a bit, man.
All right. Pleasure, man. Have a great day.
Care. Good seeing you.
Thanks again.